On my last video, I talked about style systems and how they help you figure out what will make you look your best. Today and in the next video, I will be talking about the different styles that you can choose from. Since you have to create your own, there is an infinite amount of styles. That sounds overwhelming, but something useful is that there are style families and aesthetics, and yours will derive from those. I have a series on how to find your own style and style breakdowns if you want to look into a specific one. And please do make suggestions if you want me to cover one that you like. If you're new, I'm a personal stylist, which is why I make these videos. But if you want to hire me as your styling coach, you can go to cocostyling.com. I will be separating styles into families because there are so many of them that share a lot of features, but they are also different enough to be a separate one. Some of them overlap with other styles, so I might mention that they belong to other families as well. Elegant. This is the family in which you will be able to find those timeless, polished, and sophisticated styles. First, we have the classy or classic style. The key to this one is to have timeless basics, not necessarily minimalistic since you can include more statement pieces, but still, it is about having timeless classic pieces that won't ever go out of style. Technically, if you just put chic in front of a word in regards to style, it just means that it is a sophisticated version of it. In this case, I am talking about the Parisian chic style. This is very similar to the classic style, but this one is a bit more conventionally fashionable in the sense that you're able to include more trendy items while still having that classic base. I have videos on both of these styles if you want to check them out. Minimalism. Minimalism is about less is more. It is also about having timeless and functional pieces. It also tends to be a lot more androgynous than the previous styles described. I would also kind of include the casual style here, but it isn't always elegant. Sometimes it is just simple, like a plain t-shirt paired with jeans. And I've even heard it being called normcore, which I found kind of funny because technically it is not an aesthetic, it is the absence of one, if that makes sense. Now we have the Glamorous family. This one is a lot like the Elegant family, but it is a little bit more extra. Glamorous. It is all about showing off, looking expensive by showcasing your expensive stuff. This is the predecessor of the bougie style. Think old money aesthetic, but over-the-top elegant style. Therefore, glamorous, not preppy. Sexy, but in a sophisticated way. Hollywood glam. This one is also part of the vintage style family. Hollywood glam, like its name, it's all about things glamour, with a 1950s feel to it, which is why it is also called Hollywood Regency. The time frame of the Hollywood Golden Era goes from the 1920s to the 1950s. Think Jessica Rabbit, The Great Gatsby, and Flapper Girls. Italian maximalism. I recently made a video talking about it. It is basically maximalism with a Mediterranean twist. It is all about glamour and opulence, combining richness and intricacy with elegance. Bougie. This is an abbreviation of the Americanized word bourgeois from French, which technically refers to upper middle class people, but more often than not, People associate the term with the new rich aesthetic. This style is very similar to the traditional glam in the sense that they are both about looking expensive. But with bougie, it's not just about showing off your clothes. It also enhances the body and every feature that you have. It is about excess in a fashionable and expensive way. The Insta body look also derives from this style. Academic styles. This one is very self-explanatory. Most of them are, but like this one specifically because it's just a style inspired by the academic look and university uniforms. Preppy style. It comes from the word private, referring to private schools. This style takes inspiration from the Ivy League and Russell Group universities. Some of the garments are an everyday version of the clothes used in leisure activities commonly enjoyed by the upper classes of the UK and the US. For example, polo, tennis, golf, hunting, sailing, and others. I would call dark academia a broody and more androgynous version of preppy. It is heavily linked to the aesthetic of Gothic poetry. Think about literary pieces of tragedies, because dark academia, like its name, it is very dark, broody, and tragic. What make it fashion? On the other hand, we have light academia. Light academia is the more animated counterpart of dark academia. Instead of darker shades, it has very light and creamy shades. Instead of tragedies and sad things, it captures the romanticism in literary works. Instead of the tragedies, we have the love story. So it is a very dreamy and positive version of dark academia. Now we have the artsy family, and in here we have the creative styles. It's not that the other ones are not creative, but this one is very hands-on in the sense that you might have to create your own pieces. Boho is short for bohemian. Very loose and free silhouettes, lots of layering, and it is very experimental. You can mix and match prints, textures, and colors. I made a video on boho essentials because it can be a little bit hard to get a grasp on what to get, since you can just pretty much mix anything that you want, giving the impression of being a free, fashionable soul. We also have festival boho, which is like boho but a little bit more suited to the desert and desert parties. Speaking of festivals and parties, now we have the rave style. These are very colorful clothes that can be easily seen in the dark because this style is all about rave garments. It is bold and over the top. It can be more on the candy side, the alternative side, or the retro side. And recently it has a very heavy Y2K fashion influence. Indie kid or kidcore. This one represents childhood nostalgia, especially the 90s. It is very colorful and saturated. Keep in mind that even if it's called kidcore or indiecore, it's not about looking like a child. It is about bringing childhood elements from your own childhood into your current fashion style. Visco. Visco is a photo editing and sharing app, mostly known for its vintage-inspired filters. It is all about having a natural and fresh look. And that would be it for today. Of course, these are not the only styles out there, and I'm still missing a lot of them, but I didn't want to make it into a single video because it would be like 40 minutes long, and that is a lot even for me, which is why it is going to be split into either 3 or 4 parts. If you want to watch them, make sure to subscribe to get a notification, or you can come back next Wednesday. In the meantime, let me know if you have experimented with any of these styles. And if you haven't, what's your style? Or what would you want me to include in the next video? If you want more fashion tips, you can go to my written blog, micalumston.com. Or you can hire me as your stylist at cocostyling.com. Have a nice day, and I'll see you next Wednesday.